All righty, here we go. Brand new Flyers Daily. How about the 16th of January, 2025? Flyers Daily presented by Ticketmaster. Make more memories live. Flyers back in action tonight. Before we get to that, we're going to have another great sit-down conversation in this episode with Sean Couturier, the Flyers captain. And we've had some great ones this week. Mondays with Meltzer, with Billy on Monday. Tuesday, we sat down and had an awesome conversation with Travis Sanheim. Yesterday, an awesome conversation with Travis Konechny. If you missed any of those, you can go back and check those out. And like I said, today we'll have Flyers captain Sean Couturier as our special guest. To have a little sit-down talk, a little chat, a little fireside chat. Flyers back tonight. They are tonight continuing their road trip at the Island to take on the New York Islanders. 7:30 puck drop tonight as the Flyers will take on the Islanders. Here's the state of play in the Metropolitan Division before we get to the Islanders in particular. Flyers were in last place just 2 days ago. With that point they get in Columbus, they tied themselves for fifth place in the division, but they're 4 points back of Columbus, and Columbus has a game in hand. Columbus has been great lately. 5 straight wins for the Blue Jackets, and their goal differentials are only at -1 now. Flyers still at -19. So it's Columbus in the 4th spot in the Metro and wild card 2. Then the Flyers. Then Pittsburgh is tied with the Flyers in points at 44, but the Flyers have a game in hand on the Pens. Then it's the Rangers, who have 2 games in hand on the Flyers and are only 1 point back. And then tonight's opponent, the New York Islanders, who have 2 games in hand on the Flyers, but are 3 points back. So all to play for, very important games, a lot of division games coming up. Of course, it's the Flyers and the Islanders tonight. Then Flyers are going to take on the 2nd spot New Jersey Devils in the Metro coming up on Saturday in Jersey, in Newark. And they'll return home on Tuesday to take on Detroit. And then it's going to be the Rangers, Islanders, 2 against the Devils and 1 against the Islanders. So a ton of Metropolitan Division matchups. And even Detroit, a team that's battling for the wild card too, even though they're in the Atlantic Division, it's in the Eastern Conference. So these games are of paramount importance for the Flyers right now. They'll be going against the New York Islanders tonight. Who leads the way for the 8th place New York Islanders? It's been disappointing there for Patrick Waugh behind the bench. Anders Lee leading them in points with 35 in 43 games, but he does have 19 goals, including 3 on the power play. Bo Horvat has played in 42 games. He's got 30 points. Kyle Palmieri still there, 43 games, 27. Brock Nelson. It's a lot of the usual names there for the New York Islanders. Just haven't had a good season. It's one of those teams. They're a pretty expensive team, and they're a pretty old team. And it's not a great combination. We'll see if we see Ilya Sorokin tonight. Great goaltender. He's played in 30 so far this season. A record of 13, 13, and 4. And he's got a .902 save percentage. But he's a guy, one of those guys, like Bobrovsky the other night when the Flyers took on the Florida Panthers, like Igor Shesterkin, that can absolutely steal a game from you. You can outplay. You can have a great process in the game and play really well and lose. Flyers can't have that happen right now. With goalies like Sorokin, like Bobrovsky, you got to put a lot of traffic around them. Russian goaltenders do not like a lot of confined space and you taking away their ability to move east-west. Sorokin, great at that. Crowd the blue paint. Do what you did against Sergei Bobrovsky. That's the way to get after a goaltender like Ilya Sorokin. If it's not Sorokin, I imagine it'll be Semyon Varlamov, also very good goaltender, but he's not having a great year at 889 save percentage. We'll see if Sam Ersson gets a start tonight. I suspect he will. I thought Fedotov was great the other night, though. So Flyers, you can't point at goaltending right now. I know I'm an apologist for the goaltending position, but you cannot point at goaltending at this moment as the issue for the Flyers. And they're playing better of late. Get a point in Columbus. You needed 2 because Columbus goes +1 in that exchange. You got to avoid those 3-point games against these teams in the division. Get those wins in regulation. Flyers still struggling with wins in regulation this season. And that's a huge tiebreaker if they get themselves into a position where that becomes the tiebreaker. Wins in regulation, that's a biggie. That's a really, really big one. So we'll see how that goes. When you look at regulation wins, by the way, the Flyers sit with 11 on the season. San Jose with 10 is 32nd in the league. So that's a problem. Got to win games. Got to win games in regulation. Got a pile of points right now, especially against these division opponents. All right, let's get to our sit-down conversation. Like I said, we sat down with Sanheim on Tuesday. We sat down with Konechny on Wednesday. Today, it is Flyers captain Sean Couturier. It is a brand new episode of Flyers Daily, and joining us on this episode is the captain of the Philadelphia Flyers, Sean Couturier. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You?
I'm hanging in. How's it been with kid number 2?
been good.
It's different. It's not twice as hard. It's 10 times as hard, right?
Yeah, but so far he's been good. My wife's doing a great job with him. We've been on the road a lot since, so everyone's doing good. Yeah, he's so far so good.
No, that's great to hear. How's it been? You're kind of just past the midway point of the season. It's been kind of a different year than last year, where to me it feels like the team hasn't just gotten into a sustainable rhythm at points. How do you feel about the first half of the year?
Yeah, I feel it's kind of like a little bit of a up and down season so far. Like you said, we don't seem to being able to get going on kind of a rhythm of a couple wins in a row, and but we're in there, we're fighting, we're competing every game, we're in every game, so it's just a matter of kind of finding ways to win now, and managing maybe a little better the game at key moments. But yeah, we just gotta keep playing the same way and kind of turn things around.
You've been in the league for a while now, and you've gone through seasons similar to this. You've seen a lot through your career. How do you help some of the younger guys and the group? You're the captain. Stay together, stick to a process that puts you guys in a good position to win, and despite not getting the results, sticking to that even without the results sometimes.
Yeah,
that's hard, right?
I feel it's a different. I mean, the last 2 years have been kind of a different scenario or different group than throughout my career. I mean, like you said, we're a lot younger. We've publicly said we're going through a rebuild. So the expectations aren't maybe as high, but I think it's a matter of learning how to grow as a team and like you said, stick together through the hard times. We haven't been through like big struggles, I would say. There's tough times, but we've kind of managed to get out of it. I think it's a matter of kind of building success over time and kind of expecting to win on a nightly basis. That's the main thing I think we gotta get to. Like you said, in the past, I feel I've been on teams where we've
had
lost,
we've
lost 10 games in a row and made the playoffs, and another year we won 10 in a row and didn't make them. So I feel it's different now. We're kind of it's we win one, we lose one, win two, lose two. It's kind of like just tight every night. It's just a matter of kind of getting over the hump, I guess.
How the game over your career too has evolved in different ways as well. It's crazy, kind of like you see save percentages down, volume of shots, and it's not about quantity of shots, about quality. You see the league now when you see the young players. Is it a lot different than when you broke in? Do you feel their adjustment to making the jump to the NHL?
I guess it depends.
Depends on their role too, right?
Yeah, and I feel it depends on the where the team's at, the organization's at that point in time. When I came in, we had a great team. Expectations were to kind of win right away, and you kind of find a role within the team. Everyone kind of already has their role, and you got to kind of find a way to get in the lineup and have an impact on the team in a positive way. And I feel where we're at right now, we're just kind of developing, trying to figure out different things, different roles, different lines. So there's a lot of figuring out, I feel, right now. But the important thing is, guys are getting better, improving, and we just got to stick to the process.
How is that for you as a veteran in the league? Like you've mentioned, a lack of expectation right now because it is a rebuild, as you've termed it, and they've termed it. How is that for you to kind of compartmentalize that as a player and not let it affect, okay, we're not expected to do this right now. So there's a different maybe line of success or failure, but how do I not let that affect me in the way I approach it? It's just being a pro, but how do you kind of compartmentalize it?
Yeah, it's an adaptation for me as well.
Because you want to win.
Yeah, I want to win. Getting older, not getting younger. So, yeah, I want to win, but at the same time, I got to understand where we're at as an organization, about growing our younger guys. And so, yeah, it's tough at times. But, like I said, I got to lead in the right way, show a good example, and make this team take another step this year.
You see how close the standings are, despite it being kind of up and down for you guys throughout this year. The murky middle and kind of the race to a wild card spot is on the table because nobody's running away with it, and everybody's kind of sticking around in the same area. You got a whole half a season left. There's a lot you can do to get in.
Yeah, a lot of hockey left. Like I said, we haven't really gotten on a rhythm or like a winning streak, I feel, but we just got to get hot at the right time. I feel that's what it's about, especially coming to playoffs, and hopefully down the stretch we can get there.
Last thing for you, you guys haven't had as much success at home this year as you have on the road. How do you kind of make sure you make that something over the second half of the season where when teams come in, they don't walk out with some points? You guys get that done on home ice a little bit more. Is there more pressure playing at home, or is there anything that's different other than you go from the hotel on the road and it's just hockey?
I don't think so. I think it is what it is. Some years that's
just works out
just
that way.
how it is.
Yeah.
Like we're halfway through. Obviously, it's a big sample, but I guess it depends on the schedule, depends on the teams you're playing at that moment. Maybe at the end of the year when we look at our record, we can maybe discuss it more. But we got to stick to playing the same way no matter where we play. Yeah,
shouldn't matter.
No, it shouldn't matter.
It's 200 by 85 no matter what.
Yeah, and it's on us to just be ready every game and try to get 2 points.
Coots, thanks for doing this. Appreciate it. And we'll rehuddle back on that at the end of the year. And we'll see if we can make an assessment. Thanks for doing this.
Good. Thanks.
Great to sit down with Sean Couturier and his growing family. He's had a baby a little while ago. In season. Got to plan those things better, Coots. Maybe plan it that way. Have the baby in the season. You go on the road. Get some sleep. I'm sure the wife is doing yeoman's work at home. But thanks to Sean Couturier for joining us on this episode of Flyers Daily. Flyers Islanders tonight. I will be a game time decision for tomorrow's episode, having a procedure done today as you watch this in my treatment. And I have to see how I feel after the procedure. So we have that. I'm hoping to join you tomorrow, hoping for a Flyers win. And if not, we'll talk to you Monday. Either case, it'll be a brand new Flyers Daily.